Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Tell me you weren't on the edge of your seat. Welcome back to Game Over Edmonton. Series tied. Edmonton wins 5-4 in a big shocker overtime. Leon Draisaitl with the game winner. A one-handed swipe that gets past Sergei Bobrovsky. And folks, we talk about all the time on this show the resilience of the Edmonton Oilers. How this team, again, over and over and over and over again, will not say die. And what happens? What happens? Game 4. Backs against the wall. Gotta get a split in Florida. And they pull it off. It wasn't easy. Wasn't easy by any means at all. Had to do it coming back from being down 3-0. And couldn't hang on to back a 4-3 lead. Sam Reinhart sends things to overtime. What a game. What an effort. And we'll get into a whole lot more. But first, gotta shout out our friends at Hyperdrive Hockey. Shift into Hyperdrive and get ready to have some fun with your new source. Oh, sorry, gang. Oh, 1 sec. With your new source for all the biggest stories in hockey. Bring in a unique style and broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flair. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a fun atmosphere that'll drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Hoot, Daphne Balbouf, and Kevin Larme every Monday and Thursday for your fill of the hockey world. Watch on YouTube on the Game Over Network channel or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. And make sure you, yes you, head to our website, thegameovernetwork.com for so much more. Oh my goodness. Anyways. So I'm sure some of y'all have finally caught your breath. You're finally breathing again in a game that wasn't easy. Like I mentioned at the top there. This game didn't come easy for Edmonton. We saw immediately Edmonton was disjointed in that first period. We saw the Panthers all over Edmonton when it came to chances. At one point, the shots were 11-2 for Florida. As they got their big gun stepped up again, they got goals. 2 from Matthew Tkachuk, 2 power play goals, and Anton Lundell made it 3-0. The penalties, once again, Edmonton in that first period, they were careless. It looked like this team didn't learn from the break. This team took too many stick infractions once again that first period, and Florida made them pay. The big thing, unlike Game 3, you saw that sustained effort to push back and punch Florida in the mouth. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with the power play goal in the second. And then you saw Darnell Nurse go top shelf on goalie Bob. And Vasily Podkolzin, again. Vasily Podkolzin has been one of those lunch pail guys you can rely upon to give his heart out, throw a hit here and there. And once again, he chips in with a big postseason moment, scoring to equalize on a backhander and what was a rugby scrum in front of Bobrovsky to make that a 3-3 game. And then Jake Walman, who has been worth every single dollar the Oilers paid to get him to Edmonton, with a blast to beat Bobrovsky to make that a 4-3 game. And that found even in the third period, though. Edmonton, once again, we know Edmonton's nemesis is an empty net, and we know they have a hard time finishing off games. Sam Reinhart makes it a 4-4 game. Overtime we go, where Leon Draisaitl ices things with a one-handed effort to beat Bob. And this was a game. I cannot stress enough how much things looked lost for Edmonton. Because, and for the record, the fact they pulled Stuart Skinner, I didn't see that really as a pull of Stu was struggling, because for the first 20 minutes, the only guy who showed up in an orange and blue jersey or a white jersey was Stu Skinner. For that first 20 minutes, everybody else in front of him wasn't pulling their weight. So to me, that pull was way more of a, you guys need a wake-up call. We're going to put Calvin in here to show you, hey, you guys got to be better in front of your netminder. That's how I saw it as. That wasn't, we're blaming Stu for this, because he did his job. He stepped up and made some really big saves. If it wasn't for Stu in that first period, that would have ended 5-0, not 3-0. So he pulled his weight in that frame to keep Edmonton into things in a major, major, major way. And of course, if you have any comments, questions, please hit me up in the Game Over Network chat. Love to get your thoughts on this game from the fan base. And hey, of course, like always, Panther fans, let me know how you guys are feeling. Because if you're a Florida fan, this had to be a giant letdown if you're a Florida Panthers fan. You're looking at things in which, if you win tonight, you have a chance to win the Stanley Cup in Edmonton. Now, you got to go back to Edmonton all squared after blowing a 3-0 lead. That's a tough pill to swallow if you're a Panthers fan. You could feel match point right there, and you let that slip through your fingers. If you're a Florida fan, that's a tough one to really handle. That is tough. That is really tough. I see you got some comments coming in now. We'll get to those in overtime. But yeah, I mentioned before, the resiliency, Edmonton showing they weren't going to back down. They stepped up in a second period in which they flipped the script completely on Florida in that second frame. That was a complete reversal from the first period in terms of what they had to do, the responsibilities from everybody in an Oilers jersey. That's how you respond in a Stanley Cup Final in what I know it wasn't a true must-win game, but that was as close as you could get to a must-win game for the Oilers. A lot more responsible in second period. Well done rewarding the guys behind them. Well done rewarding Calvin Pickard, who had a heck of a game. Cal Pickard came in, and again, a strong relief game tonight for Edmonton. And we're seeing, it's clear he's feeling better. It's clear that leg injury is much better because he got across, he made some big glove saves in this game to either keep Edmonton's lead or keep this game tied in the extra period. Well done. And it's looking like right now that Game 3 was the aberration. Game 3 was the aberration between these two teams, because every game so far outside of Game 3 has been a one-goal game that's gone to overtime. It has been a stalemate, which is what I think everybody loves. Everybody's enjoying the fact that there has been no inch given between these two teams, save for one game that got out of control. And again, last year one game got out of control with the 8-1 game. And technically 2 did, because Edmonton won 2 games that were one-sided. But either way, Edmonton looks good. That's a confident team now. That's a team now. I know momentum doesn't really carry from game to game, but at least your confidence, if you're an Oiler, has to be up there right now, seeing as, hey, you found a way to win in Florida, a place that over the past year you've had a tough time consistently finding wins in. And you go in, you do it, and you get that road win in overtime. You do it to silence that building in Sunrise. That's going to be a great feeling. If you're Leon Draisaitl, who joins a list of only 3 players to have 2 overtime winners in the same Cup Final, the fact that you go in and do that on the road to silence a building. When you forget about Dry. What an ending. What a way to end things right there. And again, my thoughts. Oops, sorry. Drop my notebook. There we go. And we all know my thoughts on a few guys who came into the lineup. Someone who I'm glad came in We saw Jeff Skinner generate chances, get aggressive in front of the net, have an assist, or that's why you bring in Jeff Skinner. You bring in Jeff Skinner to get chances, control the puck. Sorry, he didn't get an assist, but either way, his play led to an assist. This is why you keep Jeff Skinner in your lineup if you're Chris Knobloch. Should have been playing in game 1, but you know what? He's in there now. Very effective. I liked what he brought to the game tonight offensively, being disruptive, trying to get to Bobrovsky, and that little troll that happened after the Podkolzin goal that Jeff did. So funny. So absurdly funny. That sense of humor, that just killed me. But again, you got an Oilers team now riding high going into game 5 with a chance to have game point now. If Edmonton wins game 5 at home, Rogers Place is going to go ballistic with fans knowing that they would be up 3-2. But again, hey, there's still more work to do. There's still a job to do. You have to go back home, actually get that win now on Saturday night. That's the big thing now. You have to actually go and do the job and make sure you get that actual win because, hey, we can talk about it, but hey, talk is cheap unless you actually get that W come this weekend here. But either way, what a series. 2 years in a row, these two teams have produced banger after banger after banger when they match up in a Stanley Cup Final. It's magnifique. It's wonderful. This is edge of your seat hockey. This is what we all want a Stanley Cup Final to be. Every single game is must-watch TV. Even Game 3, which again was one-sided, but it was entertaining. It was chaos. It was drama. It was ridiculous. And we got some old friends of Game Over in the chat. We see Steven. Oh, old Mr. Anaheim calling Steven in the chat right now. He's enjoying the fact that Leon Draisaitl got the overtime winner. He's Leon's biggest fan, of course. Oh my goodness. Oh man, the people are happy. People have emotions right now, and of course, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? And hey, if you're enjoying Game Over, you know what? You want to help us out, right? So hey, if you're looking for ways to help an upstart media company employing over 30 young journalists across this country of Canada, if you got a few bucks kicking around, you can head to our Patreon page at patreon.com/the Game Over Network. When you get there, you'll find multiple features and tiers to help us grow with rewards. There's extra access, looks behind the scenes, Discord benefits, merchandise discounts, opportunities to give us feedback, and you can join us for special live shows. We can interact with us as we launch more ways to improve your experience. And hey, we know sometimes times can be tough. You can't spare a few bucks. Don't worry. We got a free tier for you on Patreon. So hey, if you want to help us out truly, make sure to click like and subscribe on YouTube. Rate us 5 stars on your fave podcast app and share our work on social media. So again, that's patreon.com/the Game Over Network for some tantalizing goodies, y'all, as we head into the second period of Game Over Edmonton on what day is today? Thursday night. Yeah, so Thursday night. So we got that weird, so it's funny. We know we had that 3-day break due to the league not wanting to go up against the NBA Finals, which again, NBA Finals, also a great series between OKC and Indiana. But now we go from having that 3-day break to now Thursday, travel to Edmonton tomorrow. Game 5 in Edmonton. This schedule, man, I understand why the schedule is so weird, but either way, it's it's something that people are having a hard time handling. But that's how it works when you are the NHL and you're going up against pro basketball and the NBA Finals. Because let's be real, as much as Game Over covers the NHL, we cover hockey. We know this league is not beating the NBA Finals. We know that. That's just basic. We know that. That's obvious. And you don't want to get crushed in the ratings going up against the National Basketball Association. Basketball's pull in America is far more than hockey's. So we know that. We know that much. And of course, we will try to bring you some post-game content from the room. We'll see if there's any content ready. But yeah, we'll see if there's any content ready. But I'm sure there's going to be some great comments coming in from other players. I'm sure it's content coming in from Pickard, from Draisaitl. That's going to be a happy room right now. That is going to be a locker room that is beyond happy right now, knowing that, hey, they are still very much alive in this cup final. Again, I called this team one time, this Oilers team, they're a bunch of whack-a-moles in which you think you can keep them down. You can hit them again and again and again and again, but they find a way to respond. They find a way to respond every single time you think they're dead. Up they go, down and up, down and up. No matter who it is, against LA, against these Panthers. And it's fun. It is so fun to see the resiliency. And that's what you need to win these tough series. And again, the second and third period in overtime, the buy-in from everybody in a white jersey was massive. And you see again, that overtime, I know Leon was hurting. Just getting that shot on, that had to be so tough. You have played a ton of hockey lately. Your body isn't feeling great. And how can it be? Again, 3 overtimes in a single series is hard to handle. That's not easy. Looking at the numbers here when it comes to ice time, Leon Draisaitl played 25 minutes. Connor McDavid had 29-40. Like, that much hockey in a series in which almost every game has been long. Your legs are hurting. Your body's hurting. You are not feeling 100%. So I know that shot took every bit of effort for Leon to get towards the net. And it was deflected. It hit a Panthers skate and got past Bob. And again, we've talked before about playoff hockey and what it takes to beat a goaltender or what beats someone in overtime. A lot of these times when you go deep into overtime, pretty goals aren't it. You're going to get those garbage, greasy goals that find a way to beat a netminder. And to no one's surprise, that's what got past goalie Bob. Just a funky deflection that he just couldn't track, and it got past him. Now, do I think Game 5 goes to overtime? At this rate, I don't know. At this rate, I do not know. It dang well could. It dang well could at this rate. I'm not sure. This series has been absurdly unpredictable. We might get a game where it's a blowout for all we know. We might get a 5 overtime game on Saturday night where we're in the building until 2 in the morning. You cannot get a firm grasp on either team in this series, and I love it. So much fun. Okay, we got some audio here. Let's jump to Jake Walman post-game after the win. One second, gang. You can pull it up. Yep, here we go. Jake Walman.
It's the craziest hockey game I've ever played in, but I feel like in front of our fans I would even ramp up a little bit more. So excited to get back home, and yeah, it's fun.
So you guys have a first period that you never planned on having. Come in here, had some penalties, made some mistakes. You're down 3-0. What happens in a room like this after that period?
Well, I think we learned a lot from that first game. Kind of in a similar position, and we unraveled in the first game. And what I noticed, just a bunch of leaders we have in our room. We came in, Paris gave us a little speech, and a couple other guys spoke up, and just the the quiet confidence that we have in our room, even down 3-0, to turn that game around shows a lot about our group. And I don't think we're ever out of a game.
Calvin Pickard is 7-0 right now. Can you just talk about him coming in and what he's done for this group in this playoffs?
Yeah, just we have extreme confidence in both our goalies, and Calvin coming in couldn't be happier for him too. He's that's a tough position to come in. Games 3-0, and he's got to grind too. He's cold, and I guess it just shows that anybody at any time can make an impact. And we're pumped for Calvin and proud of him.
Did you say Perry gave a speech?
Yeah.
Can you share anything what he said?
He's been in the league for over 20 years, so he's been through everything, and nothing can faze him, and he's just kind of rubbing that off on us.
Where ranked the goal you score in your career? Where would you rank it?
I was happy it went in. It was it's probably the most animated I've been after a goal.
Hell of a wind-up. Can you just take us through the play?
I just tried to sneak in. It was a great play by those guys down low. I think we were hard on the forecheck there, turned the puck over. That's kind of the MO of our team and what we did for the latter half of that game. And Cappy, I know he could have shot, but he decided to make a great play, made a pass, and I just took a shot at the net.
Jake, we know Leon's one of the greatest players on earth, but he's also having one of the greatest clutch playoff runs in NHL history. What's it like seeing this up close and personal?
Yeah, it's amazing. He's always dangerous. Doesn't matter if he's got two guys ragged on his back or what. He's a beast. Can do it all for us, and I think stretches of this playoffs, he's shown how good he can be defensively too, and he's just an all-around player. And I think we got the two best players on our team.
Jake, what was your impression of the start with them coming out and putting the number of shots they put on Stewie?
I think we sat back too much, watched a little too much, and we didn't get to our game at all in that first period. And that's pretty much the thing we talked about in the intermission: get to our game and see what happens, and slowly come back as a team together.
All right, there's Jake Walman after the overtime win. And that is... Oh, sorry, gang. Let's jump to the... There we go. Let's jump to the... Sorry, I was... my screens are a little bit off, but we're back now. So... That's a happy Jake Walman, and you gotta love seeing how... Again, that's a team that right now, riding a high, but they know very well there was more work to do. They're going to enjoy this win, and then they're going to shift gears back to handling their business back in Edmonton. But man, that building, Rogers Place, is going to be electric when Game 5 kicks up. We know how loud things have been already in Rogers Place, and I cannot imagine what it's going to be come Game 5. I cannot imagine what it was like tonight in the Moss Pit. And it wasn't even a warm day out. It was a cloudy day, rained a bit. It was damp, and yet I saw those fans once again out there cheering, enjoying themselves. It could be a hurricane. Well, it would be a hurricane, but the weather would be absurd, and fans will still find a way to go into the Moss Pit or want to go and want to hang out to watch a game. That area is, I gotta admit, that area has been one of the better developments by OEG for fans to go and enjoy a game. And again, if you're enjoying this show, please like, subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment if you want. See, we're getting more people tapping in. That's the one thing about this market. People in Edmonton, they love a post-game show. They love a post-game show to discuss this team and get into things and get into everything about this game. And hey, if you were in the Moss Pit, please let me know. Give me the vibes. If you were just in downtown in general, give me the vibes in terms of how things were shaking up, because I'm sure downtown right now, they're probably still cheering right now. Downtown is probably still a zoo of people enjoying themselves. I would not be shocked if that is the case right now on a Thursday night at 10:13 p.m. locally. So people are happy, and they got full well a lot of rights to be right now after the 5-4 win. So as we get back to show here. So again, if you're enjoying the show, you want some more of this, right? You want to follow more of the hosts, the content. Well, don't worry. we got a way for you to do that very nicely here on Game Over Edmonton. How can you do it? Well, like I mentioned, hit the like button, subscribe on our channel, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when we go live next. And hey, if you're tapping into our podcast, please give a 5-star rating or even write a positive review. If you really enjoy us, make sure to follow us on social media. You can find us on Blue Sky at the Game Over Network. You can find us on TikTok and Twitter at Game Over NHL, on Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn at Game Over Network. You can find me on Twitter at Avry, at AVRY, on Instagram at Avry Sports. You can also find us at the GameOverNetwork.com, where you can tap in soon to our upcoming newsletter. So we're going to have some fun things to keep up with on Game Over Edmonton as we get down to very soon your comments, your tweets, maybe there's some stuff on Blue Sky on Twitter. I always like to tell people, hey, if you're on different apps, please let me know. Give me a comment. Give me a question. I like to engage with y'all. I don't want it to only be just me here yammering on, yakking, yakety yak. You get some comments, let me know. It's always fun to see what the people on other apps have to say about this series or this game. But again, watching these games with social media, it is fun to see. It's really fun. Now, I do want to say this much about the game. Yes, Edmonton won. But one thing that I didn't want to get into in the first period, second period, because Edmonton had too many mistakes of their own that they are committing. But for me, the officiating standard, again, is a bloody mess. It's awful. It's horrible. The standard is not great. Once again, we are seeing a league, and this goes both ways. This is both on penalties called against the Oilers and the Panthers. We're seeing officials calling the game one way during one period and another way during the second period. Have a standard. Have a standard for each game or for the entire series. Stop with this, we're calling the game one way in this period. We're calling the game another way in that period. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Have a standard, at least for each game. What is this nonsense? How are you calling the rules differently in the second period to the third period to overtime? You're a professional sports league. Be better than that. Come on. You don't see in the NFL the penalties changing in the first quarter to the fourth quarter to the second quarter. You don't see in baseball a strike zone changing in the second inning compared to the ninth inning. Hockey does this way too often where it's, a whole bunch of, they're not calling it anything now. They won't call it now in this period. They won't call it now in overtime. Why? There's a rule book. There is a rule book. There is a standard. Do your jobs. Great example. Carter Verhaeghe's hit on Evan Bouchard. Carter Verhaeghe leaves his feet, hits Bouchard from behind. From behind, no penalty. If we are concerned about player safety, a hit from behind should always at least be a 2-minute penalty for boarding. Probably a 5-minute major. But no! You can't call it now because why? You don't want to have to call a makeup call? Which is also garbage as well too. Come on. Call it. Keep players safe. You have a rule book. Ridiculous. And both teams have been screwed. All postseason long, other teams have been getting the wrong side of a call because, makeup calls, game management. Come on. Ridiculous. Sorry. I had to go off on that rant because it's embarrassing. It makes this league look bad. It does. Truly. It truly, truly does. The last thing this league should want are fans going on podcasts or on Twitter mad at incompetent officials or mad about a standard which encourages car crash hockey. It's bad. It really is. Be better than that, NHL. Truly. All right. Now, let's move forward on that. Let's try and get some more content when it comes to Oilers stuff. We'll see if there's any other commentary analysis coming up for a post-game content, because you want to hear more from the guys. I know you do. You want to hear more from them. And okay, post-game, Vasily, Mr. Podkolzin, we got his content here post-game. So let's pull up Vasily Podkolzin.
Always fun. Always fun to win, especially here. And yeah, good character.
How important was Perry's message between the first and the second? Because we know he's
leadership group did a good job. Like talk to us, to guys like me, and said like we have to stick together. We have to fighting every shift, every second, and we'll find a way to score one, and then everything starts rolling quicker for us.
On the play in overtime, what was going through your mind there when the puck came up to you?
I can say to you right now, like it's more like instincts. You know, you have to risk it sometimes, especially in overtime. So like, I got lucky that it's must come true. So it's good play.
Vasily, a little bit of a personal reflection for you. You're acquired by this team in September, and now you're all the way in June, and you had a multi-point game in the Stanley Cup Final. Can you just maybe take us through what that means to you to deliver that?
It means everything. These guys helped me a lot to be really into that, and that's amazing. That's probably one of the best feelings I ever feel, like to be part of this team and to still playing in hockey in June, like never played before really, and that's awesome to feel.
There was a lot of crazy emotion for the fans during the game, up and down. Or was it for you guys on the bench?
I mean, it's a little bit emotion. It's especially somewhere in the like in overtime in the second period, the game was like back and forth. But you know what? Like we're like old team. We have so many old guys. We're pretty calm usually. Like, and I calm with them.
What do you say about how Calvin came in and steadied things for you guys after the first period?
His beauty. I mean, he like come when we down 3 and come to the net. Did a great job. Made some great saves, especially in overtime. And he did a great job. He saved us tonight.
Vasily, you talk about having older teammates.
Yeah.
What have you learned most being a teammate of theirs, especially when things aren't going your way at the biggest game?
I think control emotions. It's one and main thing here. So we trusted each other. We know our power play will work. We know we'll score some goals, and just be confident and trust to each other. And I think just control your emotion, guys.
Why has Leon been so automatic in overtime in these playoffs?
Because he's one of the best players in the world. That's why.
All right, there's Vasily Podkolzin after the Oilers overtime win, and great comment why Leon's so automatic after answering the question from, I believe that was our Mr. Chris Johnson. So, what a game. And again, character right there at the top. Vasily mentioned this team's character. It's huge. It's massive. It's been that for a long time. And a fun stat to throw at you here before we head to our next ad and overtime. The Oilers became the first team in Cup Final history to win a game after trailing 3-0 after the first period. Teams until tonight were 37-0. Now it's 37-1. The first team to win a Cup Final game after trailing 3-0 in the first period. Making some history. Making some more history. With that being said, more history will happen if you tap in and get some Game Over merchandise. You want to look suave this postseason, right? You want to look debonair, right? Well, what better way to show your love for something than by wearing it as merchandise? Game Over's apparel line has dropped with 3 unique designs. Whether you want to feel the nostalgic pull of the retro skater design, want to make a statement with our established design, or you want to wear your love for goalies proudly with our live and die by the goalie design, or if you just need another pop, a milk, a ginger ale to get you through the winter or the summer, we got you covered. Designed by Brady Chalice from Game Over Winnipeg. Use the QR code on stream now and take a look through our apparel store and help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. Go get a hat, go get a t-shirt, go get a dog bandana. Why not? Why not, y'all? Anyways, get a mug. Put some pop in that mug. All right. It is overtime, y'all. Your questions, your comments. Let's get to it. All right. I saw we had a few comments coming in on the chat. So Remily, I believe. Edmonton played much better in front of Pickard. Yeah, no, Edmonton, no. Again, this is a game in which I think this team realized, hey, we have to step up in front of Calvin again. We got to find we can't let him down. That's been a big thing with this team, is where Edmonton's found a way to respond or get up for either Pickard or Skinner in no matter what situation. And they find a way. Again, we know how much this team loves Calvin Pickard. And again, this team found a way to say, you know what? Crap. We got Stu yanked. Calvin's in. Gotta make up for it. So, like seeing that effort. Our boy Steven, Saltwater Think Tank. I'm sick, Avry. I hope you're happy. I enjoyed that game. Hey, man, how can you not enjoy that game, especially as someone who covers the Oilers? Hey, I get to cover a Game 5, so my season isn't done yet. So how can you not enjoy that? One effort from Leon Draisaitl. Ramelli again. Does Pickard start Game 5? Ooh. That's a great question. Because, you know what? Game 4 wasn't on Stu. It wasn't. But Calvin Pickard had a great game in relief in Game 5. I don't know. I think Knobloch might say Stu again, but a short leash again. The leash is short if a few get past Stu again. So I think it's Stu again, short leash, but I wouldn't entirely say Calvin doesn't play. But I do think right now it's Stu with a short leash going into Game 5. And Mr. John Tovall, Journalism John, from the Hockey News. Be honest. Did you think Edmonton needed a rebuild after the first period? Oh, man. After that first period, I was just, John, there was a lot of face palming. There was a lot of just head shaking, because it looked like to me this team just didn't learn. It looked like this team learned 0 lessons after that first period. So I was thinking, I thought to myself, for a moment briefly, yeah, this might be it. This might be it for the season. But the resiliency showed me, nope. They've sorted things out. The resiliency in the second period showed me, you know what? Nope. It was a blip. They finally got things figured out. But after that first, man, I did think briefly on a rebuild, or maybe, yeah, this season's over. You know what? Move on. John again. Is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce the reason Florida lost? It's funny. The minute Swift and Kelce come in, Florida loses the game. That's funny. I'm sure some will try and say it's the Kelce-Swift curse now in Florida, but man, that is funny. Don't get me wrong. I like seeing celebrities come in to watch hockey. We know Travis Kelce's a big hockey fan. He said it before, he's a huge NHL fan. But man, that's funny to see them come in the first game of the series and Florida blows a 3-zip lead and lose in overtime. That is funny. I'm sure Panther fans are going to be like, no, you two, stay away now. You're bad luck. I'm sure some Panther fans will be like that now for other games in this series. But, oh man, that's funny. Although the big question is now, I wonder, Game 5, what celebrities come to Edmonton now for Game 5? That's my question. Who's in the building come Game 5? We had Chuba Hubbard, the Panthers running back, who's from Edmonton, in the building for, he was here. We had Chuba Hubbard in Edmonton, local boy, Sherwood Park boy. So we've had NFL players on both sides in the building. So we will see. The one and only Mark Carney, a Mark Carney return. That'll be fun. A Mark Carney return. So, for those of you who may have not known, or you may have watched a video of Mark Carney skating in Oilers practice, the video that blew up was my video. My video went viral for the Hockey News. The video I took was everywhere of Mark Carney skating in practice. That video went, my Twitter mentions, you probably saw, John, my Twitter mentions blew up when that video got posted. On my Twitter, on my TikTok, on my IG, my phone would not stop buzzing or going up. I had to mute notifications. I had to mute my notifications for about a day and a half because I wouldn't stop getting notifications online. Some good comments, some bad, but it is what it is. When the PM's in the building, things will pop off when it comes to comments. So that was funny. That was a very funny day of content. But anyways, we're going to wrap things up here on Game Over Edmonton. Thank you all for tapping in, spending some time here on the post-game show. Game 5 this weekend, Saturday, post-game show for Game Over again. I will not be there. I'll be doing Hockey News stuff, so I'll be on location with the Hockey News. I won't be doing Game Over this weekend, so it'll be either Graham or Ash doing the post-game show after Game 5. But until then, enjoy your evening. Edmonton ties things up at 2 games apiece, a 5-4 overtime win. Leon Draisaitl plays the hero again. Peace.